Hi everybody, hope you're doing well. Today we are going to talk about a subject that I think many of us can relate to. Toxic parents, what do we do with them? I have a very dear client who asked me this question. Thank you, Julie, very much. I have addressed this many moons ago in my videos, but I think it's time to address it again because so many of us have these type of parents. And you say, how could I have ever signed up to want to be my mother's daughter or want to be my father's son or whatever? Well, in truth, you did. And you're going to say, never in a million years. Well, you did. You have no recollection of it, but you did. So why did we even do this in the first place? Because there is a lot of unfinished work from a previous life that we didn't get to do with this individual soul. Maybe just to be unconditional and loving and saying, hey, I'll be the sacrificial lamb and I will volunteer to be my mother's daughter so I can teach her unconditional love that I can give her, and hopefully she will be better because of what I give her. Well, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So what do you do if it doesn't? Then your soul contract, what you signed up for, is really done. And I say this a lot. Soul contracts are like a mortgage. You buy a house, you've got a mortgage. You work, and then all of a sudden, after 2-3 years, you lost your job. You can't pay your mortgage. What happens? The contract becomes null and void because now it goes in foreclosure. What you set out to do, you didn't keep going. So now everything changes. Well, it's kind of the same thing with soul contracts. When you came to do the best that you can for your parent, and they are still narcissistic, evil, jealous, and you just can't do it anymore. What do you do with them? Well, sparingly. Really, really think about the time that you do spend with them. Don't expect anything. A lot of times I had this one client and she says, I just really dread going there for Christmas. I dread seeing my parents. And I said, well, if you have to go, expect nothing. Expect more of the same from them. This way they can't hurt you anymore. Expect them to be their rude, narcissistic self. And she goes, you know what? Maybe it is my fault. I go, well, it is in a way because you keep expecting them and hopefully you're trying to get them to change and they're not going to. So if you just say to yourself, this is all they're going to be, I accept it. That's it. Bide your time, have dinner, leave. Make it as nice as you can make it, but don't go backwards over it. Don't do that. Just expect that they are going to be their miserable, condescending self. And choose your battles and pick wisely how much time you want to be with them. Now, for those of you that your parents are helping you, but you can't stand them, you can't have it both ways. If you really don't like them, then you cannot take anything from them. You can't take their money and love their money, but you don't want them. It doesn't work that way. You have to figure out what you want to do. If it's really, really that hard, find another way and be self-supporting with yourself. Because there's a lot of people that I see, they want their money, but they don't want anything to do with them. It doesn't work that way. It's all or nothing. But on a deeper level here, when you see somebody that is just that difficult, especially your parent, because it's hard, the one thing I always say is stop comparing your parent to other people's parents because that's going to make you more depressed. You are dealt with a mother like this, like a big child, and this is what she is. You've got to be the bigger person. And maybe this has allowed you to be the better parent to your children because you've done everything the opposite. Think about that. It's really taught you a thing or two, didn't it? So I always say forgive them. And ask the universe, hopefully they'll be better in this lifetime, but if not, you're free. Now, how do you get free from the next lifetime? By forgiving them and letting them go. But if you still are holding on to that grudge or you haven't made peace with that, unfortunately, they're going to probably be your parent in another lifetime again or something very, very close, and you don't want that. So you've got to be the bigger person. It's time to grow up too. And you're an adult, and no matter how much you wanted that mother, you didn't have that kind of mother. She was not capable. forgiver, and you just continue to be that sweet soul that you are. Think about this in a different way. Sometimes parents will look at their children, and their children are constant reminders of what they're never going to be, and this is why they're so hard on their kids. Think about that. I say that very, very often. But, I have a dear friend who always complains about her family, but yet she always goes. Well, why are you going? Then don't go. If it's that disheartening for you and they are that cruel to you, then how is that going to be a nice Christmas or a nice Thanksgiving or a happy birthday? Then don't. You have to have limits and balances, and yes, it includes your parents. Do the best thing that you can, that you could live with, but you also have to pick your battles with how far you're going to let them take onto you. Remember that. I know it's a hard thing, but if this is consistent and it's breaking you down and you're getting so upset that it's turning you into something, or it's actually breaking down your spirit, it's time to really rethink. And sometimes, unfortunately, you may have to walk away for the greater good of having your peace. Remember that, because that is everything. So it's never a happy subject, but it's a subject that I thought was overdue to talk about again. And I thank you, Julie, for bringing this up. But like I said, if you have those toxic mother, father, parents, and you've tried everything, maybe it's time to not try. Maybe it's time to take a step back for the greater good of your peace. Okay? I hope this has enlightened you. Please subscribe to Facebook, Instagram, and my favorite, YouTube. And more videos will come. And keep the questions coming, because I will address them all. You take care and have a very blessed week. Bye-bye.